Okay, so we want to find part holder strings, right? So we can go under resources. We can look under here resources.arsc. Then from here, we will give it a while. So we look under a res file and we look under values file. From the values file, we look under strings.xml. So from here we can see that. So this one also the same. Use any decoder you like, and you just decoded the basics form. So all good? Good. Okay. Okay, great. So that means, so that this is for our static analysis. So basically what we are doing is we are using the APK file, we are decoding back to a Java code, and we are looking through the source code. So now we can proceed to tutorial 3. So under tutorial 3, what it says is that, so so under here, what we are doing now is that, since before this we are doing static analysis. Right now what we want to do, dynamic analysis. So we are going to use Frida to hook a variable and to get the flag. So first things first, we need to understand what the code is doing first. So as the same thing, we can take the tutorial3.apk and drag it into it and let it decode it for us. So as the same thing, right? As just what I said, every time when we try to do static analysis, always try to trace back the main function first. So under source code, under com, then under this identifier, we can do main activity. So we look under the main activity. So by roughly looking through here, right, is that we can see here, it loads the flag from the system. So basically, we cannot just directly hook this. However, if we look under this function, right, if check secret value, if the secret value is true, right? So again, we check under check secret value. Check secret value says that it checks that if the secret value is equals to 5 nines. So it's quite obvious, right? We have to change the value of secret value to 5 nines. So how can we do that first? So first things first is that we need to load the APK into the phone. So I have already given some these commands, right? Phone. What we want to do now is we want to install the APK onto the phone. So how can we do this? Is that we can simply by doing this cmd. I'm assuming everybody already runs the Docker as the phone is already running, I assume. So first things first is that we need to check if our command line is already connected to the phone. So we can first run a simple command called adb devices. So as we can see that we are not really connecting to any phone, but however, if you look into the Docker commands, we actually open the port called 5555. So right now we can connect it to it by using adb connect. Then we can mention localhost, and we want to use the port 5555. And we can see here we have connected to it, to the localhost, and we run adb devices again, and we see we have been connected. So how can we install APK onto the phone? Is that we can use adb install, then mention the APK file, tutorial3.apk. And we can see that there are more devices, but because we have more devices being how say this activated, so we need to mention it what devices we want to use. We can use -s and mention that we want to use localhost 5555. Then we should able to install it. And we look under back to the phone, we can see that there is a new application being installed. So I'll give everybody around 2 to 3 minutes to do this first. Although it's not the actual step yet, but it's crucial to do this first. So we can see that there's this, and we can click on it, secret. So later I'll show how to get the flag. Yes. First things first, our Docker doesn't have reader. So what we can do now is that we could install reader onto the phone. So first things first is that we need to push the Frida file into the server. So what we can do now is we can do this. I'll send listen first. I'll send the commands later into the chat. Okay. So do make sure that your Frida file is within here. Your Frida server is within whatever you are running onto it. So from here, we can just push the Frida server file into it, and it should install the Frida file onto the phone. I'll give it a little while. Then next, what we want to do is we want to give the permissions for the Frida server file. So after this, we can give the permissions. Then after the permission is given, what we want to do now is we want to first run as root first. We want to run as root. Then you restart as root. Then what we want to do now is we want to run Frida server in the background. So n meaning is running in the background. So we can go under back here. We can run back the server, and it should it will not stop because it's keep on running. So you can just Control C on it, and this should able to let Frida server run in the background. So I'll give everybody 2 to 3 minutes to do this. I'll put the commands into the Teams chat. to type ADB devices. ADB devices checks that if the devices is connected. Then if it's not connected, what you want to do is you want to type in ADB connect localhost 5555. So this should able to connect to it. Okay. Okay. So we already have FreeDA connector, right? So what we can do is we can try to detect running applications. So what we can do is FreeDA dash PS and dash capital U, small a and small I. So this should return us all the running applications. So we can look under here is that we can see the the application of mobile free workshop FreeDA 1 and 2 is running in the background. So after we detect it's running already, right? What we can do is we can run scripts. And remember just now we do some static analysis on the APK file. We know that we need to change the secret value into 9999. So I'll show you a solution script of how to do that. But don't need to worry. I'll show the solution script inside the chat also. So just look under here, what I have here. So what we're going to do is, so look under here. In every FreeDA script template, we always use Java perform. That means we want to run something. Then in here, we need to mention that the application identifier we want to run and mention what class we want to modify. In here, we want to modify the main activity. In here, that we want to make sure that the function check secret values always return 9999 and that it always returns true. So therefore, we could actually it will actually force it to return 9999. So what we can do is we already have here, right? So we can use the command something like this. FreeDA dash PS and sorry. Um, uh, okay, never mind. So we can tell it dash U, which is the thing that we want to identify, which is this one. And we can copy this. We can paste it in here. And dash F is the thing that, sorry, dash L is the file we want to run. We can run sol.js, and this should be able to do it. Unrecognized arguments. So this should be dash F, I believe, dash F. Sorry, sorry. Uh, shit. But okay, yeah, let me a quick check. What I did wrong. So, uh, uh, sorry, uh, sorry, we need to use dash n, I believe, dash n. Right. So, copy this one. So we can do control Shift C. and dash n, which is the process name that we want to run. You know, dash u dash n. Oh, not fill up yes, sorry. So by running here, so we can see here that it's already connected. We can go back to the phone and can click on it, and here we will return us the flag. So I'll paste the command into the chat. So yes. Uh, as I as we can just look into here, right? We can just see a flag 2 is here. The flag 2 is here, but then it's also loaded from system. Then it asks us is that if num so here we have a simple quiz. So we have int num1 and int num2. Int num1 must be larger than 0. Num2 must be also larger than 0. But num1 plus num2 must be less than 0. So you can roughly think about it like how are we going to do this? So as simple, I'm going to show you the solution script. So we can look here that as the same thing, because we are with the main activity didn't call the class, we need to create a new instance of the class by ourselves. So here we can instance, we can call it the external function as the new instance. Then from here, we need to pass in this number. This number is basically the maximum value of an integer. You can think it like this: is that if you ever been through a class of maybe low level computing, you know that some variables has fixed number of addresses. So if you think it like this, if a very large number plus one more number, it will change the register of the register that controls the number. Is it negative or positive? So if you overload it, eventually from positive, it becomes a negative. So in simple terms, this is what we call as an integer overflow. So as simple as this. So after we surpass the values, we can just print the flag value into the console. So simple as that. We can just exit this first. Then we can just use the second script, and we already got the flag here. So I'll pass the script into the chat. So as I'm running out of time, I'm so sorry. I need to continue to the last one. So okay, um, in the last one, right? So we can look under tutorial 5. Sorry, the flag 2 was just now was tutorial 4. So that was the solution. Now we can look under tutorial 5. So under tutorial 5 is that we are going to use HTTP toolkit and we need to intercept the request. So very simple first, we can just exit this and we need to go under tutorial 5. So as same thing first, we need to install the APK. So we can use ADB dash s localhost 5555. Then we install uh, a tutorial 5. So it should be running. And if we look under our phone, sorry, it's lagging. So okay, we just scroll up a bit and we can see there's the second APK. So we can just click on this one. So there's a secret communication being made. How can we intercept the connection from the APK file? So first things first, we close it. Then we need to open something called HTTP toolkit. So remember that we connected to the phone using ADB. So same thing here, we are going to select the option to connect with ADB. So here we can see here we can use Android device via ADB. So we can just click. So we can see here there are two phones, right? But basically they are the same thing, but just using different ports to connect it. So what we are going to use now is we're going to use the local host port of 5555 using this SDK G4 port. And this should run some stuff on the phone. So the HTTP toolkit automatically configures the phone to connect to it. So you can see here it's disconnected, but however, it's making some changes to connect to it. So it asks us for a connection request, so we can just click OK. So right now it's already connected. So we just simply need to do is that make sure you go under view here. But if you see certificate rejected, right? So that means the being verified. But this is a very simple fix. You just first disconnect from it. So basically, we disconnect everything and we just reconnect everything again. So from here, we can reconnect everything. And right now, what you need to do is we just need to turn on the application. So and look under sorry So what we need to do is we just pull it up a bit. Okay. Then under home, we just turn it back on again. Oh, sorry. We need to connect again, sorry. Come on. Oh, sorry. It's not ADB disconnect, it's ADB reboot. Yeah. Sorry, we need to mention dash S for host. So it'll reboot everything from here. Although it says here, we can just clean it up. And from here, connect it again. Uh, we need to connect it to again. Then okay. Uh, and this should already open this up. This thing is wired. The 7
Here you can see a lot of interception already. So we can do this. Wow. Reason is disconnected, but it's okay. Just connect it to again. If you have this nexus, just use the nexus. So it should be connecting. So since it's connected already, we can just push it up. Just remember to close this. And just click OK on this again. And it should be, if we see under the examples, right? So we can see some noise first. But if we look under the second one, you can see there's a secret header under here. So basically what we're doing is we are intercepting the request. I'm so sorry it takes, it's quite laggy just now because I was opening Teams and everything. But this should be the intended way to find it. So yeah, I still have time. I still have time. 10 minutes. So okay, this is roughly the basic stuff, but I have something to share with everybody quite a little bit. So if you have your JDX on, right, maybe you can try take tutorial 5 and put it into the JDX, see what happens actually. Remember just now what I said, that look under the source code, right? See if you can look under the source code under here. I'm so sorry, give it a while to load. So okay, look under source code here, right? So that's the same thing com, but what do you see here? Do you see anything like maybe main activity or something? What you see here? Oh, nothing. This is just nothing else. So what is this actually? This is what something called we call as a DEX encryptor. So let me share my screen on the Teams first. So let me share the converts from bytecode back into Java or Kotlin code. However, with building the APK,